Coming up right now on stage from Gunnison, Colorado, Susan Crawford with Napping Bunny.
Good evening, and thank you all for coming. This is something we've really been working for, and we're excited about it. I'm Susan Crawford, and my partner and I are going to be building a Japanese-style napping pod hotel on an air course on the concourse in airports. And my partner is Andy Talk. Andy, could you stand up, please? Andy's a contractor here in Gunnison. He's been in business for 15 years as Littlefoot Building, and as for me, I come from an entrepreneurial family. My parents started a vending company back in the 20s, and I inherited it when I was in my 30s. I ran it successfully for 20 years and was able to sell it and embark on a career in art, which I did successfully. I'm an award-winning artist. But now, my partner and I are embarking on a new vending venture. We're going to be vending napping pods instead of candy and sodas. So I was on my way back from Palm Springs, nice warm week down there, and my plane got diverted and I missed my flight to Gunnison. Quite a contrast. So I had no option except to spend the night in the airport. It was uncomfortable. How many of you spent the night in an airport? Oh my gosh, it wasn't nice, was it? Nope. So this is a Ryanair crew. It's a protest, I think, because they have no place to rest or relax to get ready for the next flight. And when we fly, our lives depend on their being ready to do what's right. So last year, there were 45,000 flights canceled in the United States, which equates to over 8 million passengers who are stuck with no place to go and nothing to do. So in the world today, there are actually pod hotels from Mexico to Japan. We forgot that star. But there are no Japanese-style pod hotels on concourses in the United States. This is a solution. This is a napping bunny pod. It's safe, it's quiet, it's comfortable, and it's very convenient. This is a great example. It's the 9 Hours Hotel in the Narita Airport in Japan. It was installed 4 years ago by the manufacturer who is producing our pods. The first pod hotel not at an airport was installed in Osaka 39 years ago by the same pod manufacturer. So here's the problem. You're stuck, your flight was canceled, or you missed your connection, you're in the airport. We've seen one solution. The other solution is, you can call, get yourself a room, pick up your luggage, get a taxi, get to the hotel, check in, maybe stop and have a bite to eat, but it's getting late. So you get to your room, have a little rest, knowing that the next morning you have to be at the airport an hour before your flight, so that's required. So you get some rest, you get back in the taxi, check in your luggage, fight your way through security. You've spent $200 or $300 that you weren't planning on for that trip. You've wasted 2 to 4 hours of your life in a stressful situation. Or there is an alternative. Get on your phone, reserve a pod for under $100, walk down the concourse, stop in, get a nice meal, maybe a glass of wine, stop at the bookstore, get something to read, check into your pod, get a good night's sleep, knowing when you wake up in the morning, you are only steps from your gate. So we're in talks with Great Hall Partners in Denver and other airports. We need a lease on a concourse. We need someone to manage the hotels with heart. And we need major funding, because our goal is to put a pod hotel on every concourse in every major airport in the United States.
Susan!
What?
Hi!
Hi.
Come on over, sit down in the green chair of Inquisition. Good. So, I would say pretty amazing idea, right? Scalability on this one. So what do you guys got for questions?
Well,
It's not on? Here, you can
there we
use one.
go. I think I'd definitely show up to the airport a few hours earlier just to take a nap in there. They look super nice. I'm curious, you know, if this has been popular in Japan and Mexico City, like you said, what are the barriers to entry here in the U.S.? Why haven't they already been started here?
I really don't know. It might be ADA regulations, but we've solved that problem. So I don't know. Its time has come.
Agreed.
Thank you. Susan, that was amazing.
Thank you.
Great idea. I'm curious about your margins. You said $100, right, to
Yes.
reserve a pod for
Right.
how long?
Well, that would be for 9 hours.
9
You
hours.
can rent it by the hour. Probably 35 for the first and maybe 10 or 15 for the hours after that. We don't know our price points yet because we don't know what the lease is going to cost.
So that's a big, okay. And then do you know how much it's going to cost for manufacturing and production? Is it that?
It's going to cost us $1 million to get it built.
For how many pods? Yeah.
40 to 50 pods.
Okay. Cool. Jay, question?
Yeah, I've had a little bit of familiarity with the Denver International Airport, as I'm sure we can all attest to how much we love it. But my question is, it comes to, I've had some familiarity with the restaurants in there. I've got family that's in that world in the Front Range, and how do you compete with restaurants that are paying huge amounts of money for rent and are making millions in revenue over the course of a year? For space.
For space, well, at 40% occupation for our pods, we will gross $1 million a year. And but we plan to have one on each concourse.
So one of 40 pods?
Right, one total hotel on each concourse.
Okay, I'm just curious because like Root Down, the restaurant in DIA makes like $9.5 million a year. So it's just,
What is their square footage, do you know?
small.
I'll make up a number. 3,500.
It's bigger than a pod.
Bigger
yes.
than a pod. Yeah.
Okay, so if they're 3,500, we can do our facility at 1,500 to 2,000 square feet.
Really small footprint then, yeah. Cool.
Because they're stacked, they're 4 by 4 by 7, and they're stacked too high. So they don't take up that much space.
I think it's a great idea. I hope it works.
There's an opportunity to scale within the fact that the entire North American continent is open at this point somehow. Seems like an opportunity to me. I don't know. So let's talk about maybe scale outside of airports. Where else could these be used, or where are they being used elsewhere worldwide?
They could be used at train stations or colleges. They could be used in fire stations, police departments, hospitals, ski resorts, obviously.
Really cool. I love the questions from you guys. Anything else? Burning questions? Want to sneak one in? Everybody feeling good? Can we put our hands together one more time for Susan?